So, what would you get out of my talk today about my scariest memory of Atlantis falling into the serpent's mouth? It might do for you what it did for me. My experiences and memories of Atlantis have really helped me to understand life better. And, sometimes life seems insane. And even though what I'm going to be talking about to you today, seems pretty crazy, it actually helped me to make better sense of things. So, hello, hello, hello. It's Carol Ann Chapman. I'm author of When We Were Gods, which is a chronicle of my past life memories of Atlantis. First, what I'm going to do is describe to you my memory. Then I'm going to ask the question, how did it happen? Because that's what I had to ask myself when it occurred. And third, what did I learn from it as far as the way Atlantis worked and also the way the earth and the earth rules work? So, to begin with, what happened in this memory? When Atlantis was breaking up, there was this huge boulder about to fall on me. And the confusing thing is that me was one of three beings that my eternal light being was in. In Atlantis, we were not caught by the reincarnation cycle yet. It wasn't really a question of being caught. It was actually a blessing. The reincarnation cycle was a blessing to us. But in Atlantis, there were some of us, and I was one of them, who could go into numerous bodies at once. And one of the three bodies I went into was this young woman who saw the boulder coming and knew she was going to die. And my oversoul, the light being, knew that soon as she was experiencing this fear, the earth was breaking up, then it was time for me to pull out of her body and out of the other two bodies I was in and go to safety lands. But in Atlantis, we didn't go in a car or a plane or any of the vehicles we have now. The kind of being I was and the way we did things was by, in this case, falling into the mouth of a serpent. Now, it looked as if the serpent was coming up out of the earth, and its mouth was hugely wide open. But I was this eternal light being, and I still am that eternal light being, and so are you. And you just pull out of the physical. I fell into this huge mouth coming out of the earth. You know how a serpent, it's curled here. I didn't see any part of the serpent curled. I just saw it standing up and this huge mouth. I fell into the serpent's mouth. The next thing, I was flying through space. There were stars around, and I could see other light beings like me also being jettisoned through space. There was like a spray of light beings at a distance, fellow light beings like me, coming out of their own serpents and flying through space. And I ended up in safety lands in Egypt, where we were building the Great Pyramid, which was partially built at the time. So, that was my experience. But we ended up making a special session just to look at what happened. And this is where I started to get an idea of what was happening. Because I think she asked me, how do you do this with the serpent? And then it occurred to me, this is when I learned we did things at that time with the agreement of nature. Because now think, if you are an eternal light being, you are not caught or meshed with the physical material world of the earth. You're still separate from it. And at that time, how did we work with it? Like I said, there weren't human beings yet. Now we have this automatic system of going into a body, dying, going into another body, dying. In that time, we didn't have that system yet. We were just light beings and we were exploring this world. And we found that we could communicate with the natural material world in a mental way. Some people have suggested to me this was genetic engineering. No, it was nothing like that. It was in the thought realm. The natural world has a thought realm to it as well, and we communicate it at the thought level. So that is when I learned that we operate with an agreement with nature. Now, as you've probably noticed, my my first point was describe it. I did. How did it happen? With an agreement with nature. And third, what did it help me understand? Third, it showed me how things were different in Atlantis, that we communicated with the natural world through thought. And it also helped me to understand what I am now, which is again an agreement with nature, in this case, the nature being the primate of a human body, and I am still the eternal light being. So now when I've described this to other people, one man told me he'd had dreams like this as a child. So, I mean, have you had dreams like this? Have you had memories? Is this something that you thought was, ooh, this is kind of weird, but I'm so glad to know I'm not the only one, because when this man told me about his experience, that's what I thought. Oh, am I ever glad I'm not the only one? Other people, when I've discussed it with them, have said, you know what? I wonder if that was a wormhole. Maybe it was. I don't know. I knew it only from the point of view of that light being who worked in an agreement with nature in Atlantis. If you do have memories like this, if you have memories of Atlantis, if you have memories of fleeing from Atlantis when it was breaking up, if you have memories of being a strange being at some point, a mixture of beings, of being an androgynous being, you likely are experiencing memories of Atlantis. And there's a group of us, and it's called the Golden Ones, Atlantis. And if you're interested in inquiring about it or would like some information about it, just email me at carol@carolchapmanlive.com. And I'll be very happy to communicate with you. When somebody has a past life memory, they usually want to prove whether it's right or not. And in the reincarnation cycle, you prove whether it's right or not by going to a graveyard or past records of someone's birth and death. That's something that goes way, 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 way far back to Atlantis. There aren't going to be records for that. Or are there? Because I have found records in ruins in Egypt and Yucatan that are of this experience of mine. In fact, I thought I was pretty much insane after I had this memory until I went to Yucatan. So in my next session, I'm going to be talking about, are my memories of falling into the serpent's mouth real? And I hope you'll join me then. Well, I've just been thrilled to be sharing this information with you today. If you've enjoyed this, please tap the like button. And if you're new here and are interested in these topics, please subscribe, because I've got so much to share with you. And I look forward to having you at my calls in the future. Toodaloo. Bye-bye.